film it too?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's a bit embarrassing.
Embarrassing. Yeah, watching myself back is like not
I
fun.
know, it must be painful for you having to.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
hope that seat's okay,
Yeah.
because we might be here for just 2 hours or something.
That's all good. I don't mind.
Okay, so the thing with the mic is I just had to like play with the settings so that it doesn't pick up as much background noise.
Right.
So like
Okay.
if the aircon's going, it doesn't just constantly hear it. So
Okay.
you kind of want to be like sitting forward, and you want to be like this far away when you're talking.
Okay, gotcha.
And stuff like that. And if you pick up and move it around, it does
Weird things.
it does notice that in like the recording. So if I'm doing this, like you can almost hear it be moved around.
Okay.
So
Don't move it.
yeah,
Okay.
you can move back and forth and whatever you want, but
All the
holding
lights.
it and stuff isn't
Yeah.
great. But yeah, just
Alright, I'll talk into it.
yeah, we've started.
Have we?
Yeah, I always press start before people come in, because otherwise I've got to like go behind there,
Right,
behind
I
there,
getcha.
and then my computer's on the ground,
Right.
so I've got to like crawl on the
Oh,
ground and press
fancy.
the mouse. Yeah,
Okay.
this is like podcast stage 1.
Yeah?
So this is not.
Was it worse than this in the beginning?
Yeah.
Really?
Well, I mean, yeah, I
So you
guess.
have pro mics now? Pro camera setup? You have 2 phones?
Yeah.
Damn, okay.
No, it's not a flex. It's just me spending too much money on.
Oh
Well,
my goodness.
I needed a new phone. Okay.
Right.
I needed a new phone because the other one
Okay.
was dying.
Mm-hmm.
So I needed a new phone,
Right.
and it was gonna be an iPhone. So I was like, I'll get a new one. And then
Why do you trade it in? That's what I did.
because I had an iPhone 7, they'd give me like $100 for it.
But it's off your next purchase.
Yeah, it's like $100.
But still, why not?
I don't know. Anyway,
I guess you have 2 phones now.
well, yeah. And then I was like, well, I don't know what it's gonna look like with one phone and then a camera, or like.
Right.
I didn't know if
getcha,
they would.
I getcha. The quality. be
Yeah, like if that's an iPhone and that's on me, and that's like a studio camera and that's on you.
Mm.
Like, is that gonna look better? It's
Yeah,
like, how's it gonna
right.
look? So,
Getcha.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so I want to talk to you about 2 things.
All right.
First thing is just organization,
Uh-huh.
because you got
Just
OCD.
think closer.
Yeah. You have OCD.
Okay.
Okay. Don't fight it.
All right.
And then Japan.
Okay.
Your trip.
Yeah.
Because obviously I've heard bits and pieces.
Mm-hmm.
But I just had Jackson on and I just talked to him about his trip to New Zealand.
Yeah.
So I sort of want to do a similar thing with your exchange.
Okay. Sounds good. I'm always happy to talk about it.
Okay, good. All right, so let's start
Where
with
shall we
organization.
start?
Let's start
Okay.
because I need to be organized.
All right. I
I'm
brought my
struggling.
computer. I got all my
you've-
templates and things.
Oh, you have
if wanna see.
templates.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Whip it
course.
open. Yeah.
Um.
But I got a little notepad because I need to take some little organize, like what I should be doing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? All right, so let's try and
guess- Shall I just start at the beginning?
yeah,
For
let's for uni.
Well, this is what I do. Do you want me to tell you what
Okay,
I do for uni?
Yeah, you tell me what you do to stay organized in
Okay.
every area
All right.
of your life.
Okay.
And then I'll just ask and pick and choose the
Okay,
stuff that
okay.
like might be helpful for me.
All right. Okay. Gotcha. So with uni.
So do you want to put the laptop in front of you so that you can
okay.
like swing it out in front of you so you can still look at it and talk into the microphone? And then if you ever need to show me, you can just turn it around.
Alright, sure.
That way you can talk into the mic or
Okay.
something. Oh,
My goodness.
hello, fly. You know how like
What?
it just shows how like the area that we're in, you know what I mean? Just a fly just on the table.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, when I apply to my classes for uni, I get all my timetable, right? It says like what class are and what time.
Yep.
Yep. And I work 30 hours a week as well. So I have to fit. I mean, I don't have to work that long, but
Mhm.
I do.
Mhm.
And I just fit like my classes around days where I'm not working.
Mhm.
So basically every single day I either, like last semester, I would either have a full day of uni or a full day of working,
Mhm.
including the weekend. So I would have no time free. Which may be a little crazy, but I enjoy that. Getting money. Getting the shmoney, you know.
But what about the weekend?
I I work on the weekend. It's like time and a half pay, so I need that.
What about like having a social life or
I have a social life in the mornings and the night.
in the
It's
hour and a
scheduled
half
in.
in the hour and a half between working and studying, I have a
Exactly.
social life.
Pretty
Okay.
much.
Yeah, right.
But I like it that way. Like
Mhm.
I like being busy. I don't really like
Bus-
just doing nothing.
Busy during the days.
Yeah, yeah. But also like that time between school, or maybe not, between school and starting uni. Sorry.
Wait, what? The time between what?
Between
School and starting
finishing
uni.
school and starting
Right.
uni. Like you have like those
Mhm.
couple months where you have absolutely nothing.
Mhm.
And in those months I didn't have a job either, so I was just like doing whatever I wanted every day.
Mhm.
And like for a couple of weeks that was fun.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, like, I feel like I have to do something now. Like, I can't just,
Yeah.
like, the podcast, you know what I mean? Like, you can't just keep doing nothing. You have to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
something, you know?
Yeah, yeah. You have to do something. Mhm.
Anyway, so yeah, backtrack. When I get my classes, I, like, put them in a thing that looks kind of like this.
Mhm. So you just
So,
got
like,
a
I would
template.
have my class there. Then
Mhm.
each class has 4 assessments, usually.
Yep.
Then this column would be, like, how much they weigh.
Okay.
And then I would have, like, when the due date is. So this would be by weeks. So week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 12.
Mhm.
Does maybe look crazy? Maybe a little. I'm not
Nah.
crazy, I swear. And
Well, I guess we'll find out by the end if you are crazy or not.
maybe. Then I would like color in the week that it's due, right? So for
Mhm.
example, like let's just say I had what was one of my classes? Like introduction to political science.
Yep.
Should I say what I
Introduction
study?
to. Well, you can if you want.
I go to ANU and I study a double degree in international relations and Asian studies. So basically,
Wait, international relations and what?
and Asian studies. So
Asian.
Asian.
Oh, okay. Not ancient.
No, not ancient. I don't like history.
Okay. Be like Asians.
Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Asian studies. Okay.
So yeah, one of my classes last semester was Introduction to Political Science.
Okay. Mhm.
Yep, and then it had 4 assessments.
I mean, it sounds interesting, but I mean,
It's more interesting than the name.
wait, what's political science?
My goodness. Whew.
Let's just start
Okay,
with what it
what's
is, because I got
political
no
science?
idea what political science is.
Basically, it's like, what did we learn about? I don't even remember, to be honest. It's been so long. No, it's okay. It's like learning about different countries,
Mhm.
learning about their governments, the way they interact with people, the international like order, kind of like the hierarchy. For example, right now, US would be like at the top, kind of with China maybe.
Mhm.
Australia's kind of in the middle.
Mhm.
You know, like how to change that order. What happens if it does change?
Yeah.
Wars. Kind of predicting how people or countries would react in a certain situation, kind of
Mhm.
thing.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Because then, if you know like how a country would react, then you can either proceed to do the thing or not do the thing that you were going to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
That kind of thing. Basically, it's just a lot of essays and
It
analyzing.
does sound interesting, but like, why are you doing that? What interests you about doing that?
I guess in high school, I really liked legal studies. That was one of
Mhm.
my favorite subjects, and I really liked Japanese.
I think you're just a workaholic. I think you just deliberately go out of your way to just make work for yourself.
Maybe, but I like working.
You're one of those people. That's probably a good thing, you know, like
Yeah.
like having something to do, like
Mm.
you know, working, whatever. Because it's like when I think of work, I'm like, oh no,
Yeah.
thank you. Like I'd rather just not.
Not do
Like
I think as well though, it's not like about motivation necessarily, but it's about like discipline, like consistently
it's
doing
so
the same
hard.
thing.
It's so hard.
Because I have days where I don't want to do work, but I do because I know I have to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. I'm glad you can. That's great.
Yeah.
I struggle. It's
Yeah.
hard.
Don't worry, with all my tables and
Alright,
templates, you
Alright,
can do
well,
it.
I've got a little notepad, so
Yeah, I guess this one more applies to like a uni class maybe.
Yeah.
But
that's alright.
But yeah, so I would color in like when it was due,
Mhm.
and then I would do like a line of when I had to start it.
Mhm.
So for example, like I had an essay, let's say that was 30%, and it was due in like whatever week this is.
Yeah.
And essays probably take me like 2 weeks to like write, edit, finalize. So then I would like draw a line here to say, okay, I know in this week I look down here, these are all the things I have to start this week.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So then
Mhm.
they're due for that one.
Yeah.
That's
So
a really good thing. I
just being able to write it down
think.
or have it on a template or like where you can actually look at it
Yeah.
and go, all right, I've been given this assessment. It's due in 6 weeks.
Right.
I know it will only take me 2 weeks.
Mhm.
So I start here,
Exactly.
and then obviously because you've got a template with all of your subjects,
Right.
you can see what you're doing in every week,
Exactly.
and
if
then
some
just work towards that
Yeah.
assessment when you need to.
Exactly. And if you like look through it and you see, oh my gosh, this week I have like 5 things due that are really big. So then maybe the week before you have to start them a bit earlier because you have so many. Or maybe like you'll be able to say if a friend asks you for a trip, you can say, sorry, I can't come that week, but I can come this week.
Wow. Sorry, can't come. Got an assessment.
Well, you know what I mean. Like you can plan like ahead.
Yeah.
Is what I'm trying to get at. Like if you can see visually like exactly what you're doing each week, you know how stressed you're going to be.
I think that's hopefully. Hopefully that's where I'll get to.
Yeah.
Because right now, I mean, I've got a little calendar, and I don't
That's
even.
good. That's
I
a
don't.
start.
I don't even know if I wrote yours on here for today. No.
What's the date?
No,
I don't.
I didn't. No. See what I mean?
That's alright.
How do I organize myself if I just don't organize?
You just gotta write it down. I think.
Yeah.
Like I have a notebook and I just write everything down.
Yeah.
Right. Just write everything that you need to do. I guess maybe it's a little different if you have like to plan certain things. But if you just write like I have to get 5 people or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Then just go onto your calendar and say I need this person this day and just plan it one by one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you just have to take it one thing at a
I
time.
know.
But you just have to get everything down first, because otherwise you're not gonna remember what you need to do.
Yeah. No, exactly. I mean, if I didn't set a reminder to put both the phones on charge last night, I wouldn't have done it. And then I would have woke up this morning being like, fuck.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, that seems like a pretty good way of doing things.
Yeah. And what else do I have? This one is like my actual timetable for uni, like what I actually have.
Ah, okay.
And
Do you
then-
think... Sorry.
You go.
No, do you think it's more helpful to have just more stuff to plan? Like, for example, if you're trying to get organized and maybe it was just the school holidays and you didn't have all the school work that you had to do, but you still wanted to have a productive day and you only had like 2 things to do, do you think it would be like, do you think it's harder to get shit done when you've got more things to do? Like you can plan it, all right, wake up at 9, this done by 10, you know what I mean? Go through the day where it's like, all right, today I got 2 things, I'm just going to do them whenever.
Yeah.
And just, yeah.
Well, even like in my school holidays. So this is kind of like what I would have hanging up on my wall, right? Like
Right.
something like this. And then in the school holidays, I made like another thing. That was like each day. And then I just wrote things that I needed to do that day.
Right.
So like, like basic things like, I don't know, hang out the laundry or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, even if you just write it down, crossing it off, you feel so accomplished. I don't know if you feel that way.
Yeah, I don't know if
I guess it kind of depends what type of person you are. But
yeah, I do like to cross things off. So
right. Like, yeah, I did it. You know what I
so
mean?
finally.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you write it down and then cross it off, it's like, yeah.
I have been
did
doing that a lot more recently.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not in much structure. It's just like wake up, 8:30 and then have breakfast and then I'll write what I have to do for the day. And I'll just write them down in dot points. And I won't have any particular order what to do next. I'll just like choose what I think I need to do next or like what I want to do next. And then I'd come back and cross it off and then just keep working to that.
Yeah. What I usually did if I was making a list
Mm-hmm.
of just like anything really
Yep.
is I would do it like a star or like in order, like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Right, so you'd write yours in order of how you do it.
Not of how I do it. What's the most important thing to get done right now?
Okay.
That's how I would do it. So for example,
I'm gonna
like,
make notes. Is that
okay, yeah, go ahead.
Are you good with that?
Yeah, do whatever you want.
I'm just gonna study.
Okay.
Do my study case today. I have to learn. Okay.
Alright.
Otherwise, I'm gonna be a bum.
You're not a bum.
Look at me,
Come
I
on.
look like a bum. Okay, no, not a bum. not
No.
a bum.
So for example, like I don't know, something like for example, charging the phones. That's probably an important thing that you have to do. And then maybe like making your bed or something would be like number 2.
Yeah.
Because charging your phones is more important because you need that for today, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So then charging your phone, you could like do a star or like an asterisk and write number 1. Like I have to do this one first. This one I really need to accomplish before I do any of the others. Because if you have like wash the dishes, do the washing, maybe you'll do those because they're kind of easier. It depends like what things you're doing. But yeah, if it's like I have to like really settle down and plan my classes or something and you just don't want to do that, you're going to do the easier ones first, of course.
Yeah.
So you have to really say like I have to get this one done before I do any of the others. then these ones are the ones that if I have time at the end, then I
Right.
can do that. Do you know what I mean?
Yep. Definitely makes sense.
Yeah, I usually do like stars or in order. Yeah, like
Yeah,
one.
or in order. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Guess I'll have to start, prioritizing the things that I should be doing first.
Yeah, I think that's
Which I
important.
generally try to do is like, all right, well, let's just say, for example, I want to edit the podcast for 4 hours today. I'm not going to do like all my other shit and then do 4 hours because that will just kill me. So
Right,
I'll just do
right.
like 2
Little blocks.
hours. Yeah, 2 hours
Yeah.
in the morning and then do some shit and then do 2 hours and then finish the day with walking the dog or something.
Yeah, yeah. Like you just leave the like walking the dog. It's not like you don't have to do it, but it's
Yeah.
kind of good. So that could be
Yeah.
like at the bottom.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know what other tips I can give you though.
What about like if we were in your room,
Mhm.
you know, what would you have? Because you said you in the holidays you're writing stuff down, like just for your day.
Yeah.
You know, how do you put that on a wall? Do you put that on your door? Do you have reminders on your phone?
Yeah, things like this, like my classes and like that timetable, the other one, I would probably have on my wall just so I can see it every day kind of thing. I prefer as well to write things and like have them printed out rather than on my computer.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I just like it better if I can see it and
Yeah.
kind of change it.
Yeah.
And I think I'm a visual learner.
It's like tangible
I'm not sure, but
that way.
yeah, and you can just see it every day. Like you can with the other one with the assessments, you can see like each day as you're going along. You know.
Yeah.
So I would have that up, and then I also have like a diary.
So what would you have? Do you just have like a piece of paper with how you're organizing yourself, and you just print that out and put that on your wall? Like what's on that? What does that look like?
So for the one that I made in the school holidays, I didn't actually print that one out. So with my school stuff, I would usually do that, but just because it was like not anything too pressing, I just did it on like a Google Doc in a table and just had that like saved as one of my bookmark things. So then I could click on that every day.
Yeah.
And then just by day had it listed.
What about like long-term goals or anything? How do you stay organized and like, you know, moving forward towards achieving those long-term goals?
I don't know. I haven't actually really like thought about that too much. I think I definitely wanted to start thinking about that more this year, and I have planned to think about that.
Well, you put down some planning time as well. Do you just plan? Is it just best to plan everything like?
I think so.
Like when you should, like what you're gonna do that night, not maybe specifically, but
yeah, no, I think so. Like I plan like when I'm gonna wash my hair because I know what things I'm gonna have to do the next day. Like if I go to the gym in the morning, I can't wash my hair the day before because then it will be like too clean. Then I'm gonna have to go to the gym, and then you know.
So
maybe that makes me sound crazy. I don't know. Maybe a little.
No, I think it's good to stay organized. It's definitely helpful. It's definitely very helpful. And it's definitely very helpful for people like me who are not organized and need a bit of you know, like structure. I need a bit of structure because without structure, I just, you know, I'm just running around like a headless chicken. Yeah. So,
that's like
maybe easing my way towards that point. Of
if you just make lists and things.
Lists and things.
Tables. Like if you just plan, I don't know how to describe it. Like.
It's like, all right. So if I'm starting, if you're starting fresh, you have nothing organized. You've spent the last 3 weeks.
Oh my, this makes me anxious just hearing about it.
You spent the last 3 weeks not washing your hair, watching Netflix.
Right.
You know, you're doing nothing, being a bum.
Yeah.
And you've got to get your life back together.
Okay.
Okay. For some of us, this is more of a reality than it is for others. Okay.
Right.
And you have to get your life back together.
Okay.
Your room's a mess. Everything's a mess. You know, you have to do everything, right? But aside from all the house chores that you'll eventually have to do to just get clean or whatever, to be organized, where are you starting?
I would definitely start on my room.
Yeah.
I think like a clean environment like this just makes you feel so much better, in my opinion. Yeah. Like a clean workspace as well. Yeah. Then you can put all your thoughts down. Like.
It does feel better.
Right.
I mean, look, my room is a bit messy. It's a little messy.
It's pretty clean.
No, it's not. I got shit everywhere.
Well, at least your bed's made as well. I think making your bed is important.
I do make my bed every day.
Yeah.
I make my bed, and generally, you know, most of the time, like I'll clean this desk. Obviously, it'll have my computer and stuff on it, like the monitors and stuff. But I like clean the desk and make it so there's nothing else on it. So when I sit down to edit or whatever, it's like it's nice. Yes.
Yeah, I think I used to be the kind of child that would just always have a messy room, like clothes on the floor, not bed made.
Yep.
Bed not made.
Mm-hmm.
But then yeah, once I like moved out and started uni, I was like, it just
So much easier.
so much better because I have my own room in uni, so it's only one room, but it has like kind of like this, like a kitchen, bathroom, bed, everything. And if it wasn't clean, like everything else wouldn't be clean because it was only one tiny room. So I just really got in the practice of just cleaning everything up, like when I'm done. You know what I mean? Like if you finish a dish, just wash it straight away and then put it away. Like why would you just have it there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah. So I think I would definitely start on your environment first.
Okay. Little note.
Note
So
down.
for me personally, should I just clean like make this entire room like spotless? Like that should be the first. Like just get it like 100%. You know, like clear out. You know all the extra shit. Either throw it away, put it where it's supposed to be. You know, tidy up everything so it's not just like, okay, my bed's made, my desk is clean, the floor's clean. Okay, but now I've got drawers which have shit on the top of them. You know, I've got all my keys and my wallet and my you know, and like a whole bunch of like my water. You know, I've just got a bunch of shit everywhere. You know, I've got some bits are clean, some bits aren't. Should I just clean and just start off?
I would say one day you definitely should clean everything so that can be all ordered. Yeah. But like, I don't know if you do this as well, but when you clean your room, you find things that you haven't found in ages, and then you just get really distracted and go into a black hole.
Yes.
So I would recommend probably on a day where you don't have anything really pressing to do.
Okay.
Then do everything.
Yeah.
And like all the drawers or whatever.
But otherwise, I
would just say this is like pretty fine.
Yeah.
Like, as long as you have a clean space to like work and like rest or whatever.
Yeah. And it's moderately clean.
Exactly,
you know.
right.
Not everything has to be dusted and perfect. And
exactly. Because then you'll get too distracted in it. Then you'll
get... because when you're cleaning, you're like really cleaning. Oh, I haven't seen this in like
literally.
3 weeks. It's been buried under pieces of paper or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
So start with environment. And if you have time, do everything.
Full clean. But yeah, if you have
do
like
a full clean.
matters,
but otherwise, just get what you need to get done. Okay.
Exactly.
Yep. All right. Well, what's next?
What's next? Okay, if my room's clean, I guess if I haven't like cleaned myself.
Yep. Okay.
Like hair or like put on not pajamas.
Not yet, because otherwise you'll want to lounge around and do nothing.
Right. Like put on like at least like a lounge outfit that's not just
a lounge outfit.
Loungewear.
Loungewear, darling.
Yeah. That's not the pajamas you were wearing the night before.
Yeah.
And then I guess if that's done, what else? Then you can kind of get started, really.
Okay. So, but first things first, just need to be clean.
Just need to be clean.
Yeah, all right. I think so. But then when we're organizing, so I have assessments. I have, like whoever the person is, they have like me. I have to edit a podcast, or I have to even go to the gym or make lunch and stuff like that. So let's just say it's a Sunday.
Yeah.
Do you get organized for the entire week? Like, how will you do that?
So, for me, it's probably like 2-3 weeks in advance. I know what I'm doing, but that might be a little crazy. I don't know.
2 or 3 weeks?
Yeah.
Okay.
In advance.
Okay, that's fine. Let's go into that.
We'll just start. So what I do personally is I work backwards and then come to now. So for example, if you said, "Oh, I have a podcast. It has to be edited and uploaded by this day," then you would work backwards, right? So then the day before, you would need to have it like pretty much done.
Yeah.
Then the day before that, like maybe editing, and then that would be now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So then you know what you're doing. Does that make sense? So I would say work backwards to now. So plan it like when everything is due, or like when you have to do things by. So like for example, for me, I had like I know this is not really planning, but like car rego due.
Yep.
So I had to like plan how much money I would get, and then plan like what day I would get the money, so then I could not spend, then I could just pay the money. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say work backwards.
Right.
With the big things, and then it will become small little tasks that you can do right now.
Yeah.
Because then you're not like edit a podcast like that.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah. No,
today it would just be like 1 hour or something. Yeah.
Break it down, make it a little bit more specific.
Exactly.
And just, so how am I writing? Am I just writing this down like, okay, today's Sunday. I've just got a blank piece of paper in front of me. Or
I
would you
say
use a
make it
template?
yeah, I would say like
You-
make it a day at a time, so a week.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yep.
Like say like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, because then like if
So
you have
just
it
have a
like a calendar basically.
have a template which just has the week, so that
Yeah.
way you can print it off or whatever every
Mhm.
week.
Yeah.
You know, it's just a
And
generic
change it.
week. Yeah, yeah. And then, you know, every Sunday or whatever, you basically just want to fill in that week
Right.
and just work back to forth.
Exactly.
And then you have like Sunday through to Sunday or Saturday, right?
Mhm.
Down the left column, you know, and then you just kind of like just fill in those days of what you have. So, for example, on Monday, it's like, all right, well, it's on, I got a podcast
Yeah.
I want to publish on Wednesday. So,
Mhm.
all right, on Wednesday, you know, publish podcast. Tuesday, have, you know, 80% editing
Mhm,
done.
mhm.
And then, you know, Monday, have
Exactly.
40%.
Right, right. Because I think like people get kind of overwhelmed if you have a big task. Right?
Yeah. You,
And even like at uni, like sometimes they're like write a 6,000 word essay, and I'm
Mhm.
like, what? Like, how am I meant to do that? How?
Yeah.
I physically cannot do that.
mm-hmm.
But then if you go to the like break it down from the future,
Yeah.
then it's like, okay, write 100 words today, write 100 words tomorrow, next day, and
Mhm.
eventually it just becomes a whole piece, you know?
Yeah.
Like you could say write a paragraph. Like I guess it's kind of different with editing something, but like maybe like edit like half an hour, then the next day edit the next half an hour, you know? Like really
Yeah.
break it down, because if you just say write a 6,000 word essay, edit a 4-hour podcast, it's like you can't do that, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? And then you'll just get distracted and procrastinate and do
Yeah.
whatever.
For sure.
So I think really like planning from the future and breaking it down, and having it into smaller chunks is a lot more manageable than just having a big task in front of you.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go. Does that help at all?
Yeah. Well, if I actually do it, then yeah, it will help.
I think it would.
I mean, I'm gonna try and do it because I need to get organized. And
Yeah, but if you like write even on the calendar,
calendar
like-
can be like just when people are coming. And
but
that I can
yeah,
just
if
write
you
down.
like plan like I don't know, like next week podcast you on this day,
Yep.
you can just write like do a little bit, do a little bit,
Yep.
do a little bit, and back to forth,
Mm.
back to front.
Yeah. Okay.
There you go.
Is that it?
What other aspects
What?
do I organize in? I organize in money and my playlists. So
And
I
your
don't know.
playlist. That's right. That's kind of freaky. Yeah.
I don't know if you want to talk about that.
Money and playlist. I don't know. I don't listen to much music. I mean, yeah.
Should I talk about money then? My
Yeah.
dad's a financial planner.
Oh, is
Guys,
he?
you
Is
can- you
he?
can go to
Is he
him.
really?
He really is.
Jeez. I ever said if I won the lotto, that'd be the first thing I'd do.
Get a financial planner.
I think that's the way to go.
Hit up Mondi Financial Services.
It's like
Um,
me and you listening to this podcast
Oh.
in the future. I
Well,
don't know.
guys, if you're listening,
Maybe in like 30 years, someone will come back and be like,
my dad will be an old man by then.
oh, we'll be old.
That's true. Oh my god, in 30 years we'll be
Yeah.
50.
Yep.
That's so
50.
Oh my god. Okay. Anyway,
I'm going
back
to
to
stay
the
being
point.
20 for now.
I know. So my dad actually hasn't helped me like that much in. I mean, like not out of not wanting to, but I just don't really need his help.
Mm-hmm.
He like planned this thing for me to like do an investment, which I think is important. So
Do you think is important? As in, like,
think
you
so.
think as in you're not sure, or you just...
well, like I guess at the moment it doesn't really seem like worth it for me because I just want money now.
Yep.
I'm not really like thinking too much of the future, but I guess future me would be grateful that I did this.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I have like an automatic transfer from my paycheck every week
Mm-hmm.
that goes into like an investment account, which I think is important to set up.
Yeah.
And then that grows and changes
Mm-hmm.
over time.
I mean, you have to know how that works. That's the thing. It's like you have your dad who knows what he's doing, and he
Yeah.
can set that up for you.
Yeah, he basically just did it all.
What about like the average Joe,
Average
like
Joe.
me, who, you know?
You could ask him, but I guess
All right. So everyone, and if
Ask
you
my
ever,
dad.
yeah,
no. Okay, I think like I'm not exactly sure what it is because I
Mhm.
haven't really talked about it that much with him. But it's just like an investment like account.
yeah.
I don't know if I'm allowed to say like the brand and things that I use. Is that
I
alright?
don't know. Are you?
Is that okay for your podcast?
I don't know.
Do you want to
Yeah.
like say brands?
I don't know.
I use Colonial.
Why
They're
is brands an
super fun.
issue?
Well, no, I just thought. Are you allowed to get like copyrighted or whatever?
I don't know. Am I? I'm asking you the
Okay.
questions.
Oh, I don't know. This is your podcast.
Jeez, I don't know. Like one of the first podcasts, I said like fuck within like 5 seconds. So
That's all right. Okay. All right, we're going.
so
there.
if that's in there, then I think we're good.
Okay. So I use this. I think it's called Colonial First State, or just Colonial something rather.
Is this an app?
It's
What is
a
this?
like company.
Okay.
And they have accounts that you can like use, I guess. So if you open an account with them, they will. Now I don't exactly know how this works, so I'm just kind of making it up.
That's fine.
They will take your money and then put it into different shares for you, so you don't have to do it.
Yeah.
So I mean, you could do it yourself, but it's a lot easier to have the company do it for you.
Right. Do you have to pay them, or you just have to create an
I don't
account
think
with
you have
them?
to pay them. Yeah, you just create an account. It might take a little bit, but I'm not exactly
Yeah,
sure.
they might take like 1% or
Yeah.
something.
So then you can choose like how risky you want it as well, like what you want your
Ooh.
shares in.
Okay.
Like, yeah, for example, mine right now I think is like 98% risky. Like the
What
most.
the fuck?
Because my dad said to me, and I get this makes sense as well, like it'll go really far down and really far up quite often, right?
Mhm.
But then eventually, like over the years,
It'll just
it will
slowly go up.
go up.
You say that, but I have no idea. Like
Well,
maybe
over
maybe.
the last 10 years, this is what he was telling me. Over the last 10 years,
Mhm.
it's consistently gone up
Okay.
for people
For people.
in general.
Look, I got no idea how any of that works.
Yeah.
So I can't like. Be like
That's all right.
"Oh,
But
yeah,
I
you
think
know."
for in terms of that, like organizing, like having direct debit to that thing is important. And I think you said you asked me before about like long-term goals.
Mm.
I haven't really planned like any really big goals that I want to do. But in terms of like money, like getting a car, going traveling, things like that.
Yeah.
Every week, as soon as I get my paycheck, I have a notification on my phone that says like when money comes in.
Yeah.
And then, what?
No, nothing. I think yeah.
What?
No, nothing. I was just scratching my ear.
Okay.
just
So I have a
smile.
notification when my paycheck comes in,
Mhm.
and I have to have at least like about $300 left over because that's how much it costs for my rent.
Mhm.
So that gets automatically taken out as well.
Yeah.
So then any leftover after that has been like removed, I will like divide into my different bank accounts I have.
Mhm.
So for like a big goal, I would probably put more money towards it, or if I wanted something right now, I might put more money towards it. Then a smaller goal, you just put a little bit more, and then the next goal a little bit more, etc. And like I do think it is important to like still have fun. So if I know I'm gonna be doing something like or going out that weekend, then I'll leave a bit more in my actual spending. I won't put it away.
Yeah.
But mostly I put all my money away.
I mean,
Like
it's
I'm getting
smart. It's
paid.
smart.
I get paid tomorrow, and I have like $15 in my account right now, because everything else is just away. You know?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty smart. If you earn, earning however much you're earning, and then just divvy it up between like what your priorities actually are.
Yeah.
I mean, especially right now, we can't even really go out and do much, so it's not like
Right.
you're going to be putting much money into your spending account.
That's
'cause
true.
you
I
can't
think
really
that
do
has
much,
helped
so.
as well. Like,
Yeah.
living at home, and then also with COVID, like, there's not so much you can really spend on.
Mm.
Online shopping, though, has definitely been a thing for me.
Really?
So that's taken a little dent out of my money.
Little dent.
Just a little dent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's a sucker for some online shopping.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so easy.
It's so easy.
Yep.
I know. I was doing this like thing the other day, and they're like, because it makes you happy like more times than shopping in real life.
Really?
Shopping in real life, you see the thing and then you buy it, and then you're happy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then on online shopping, like you add it to your cart, right? And then you
Ooh.
buy it, and then it comes in the
Ooh.
mail,
Ooh.
and then you're like happy like 3 times over. You know what I mean?
Right. That's pretty smart.
Yeah. So that's
Yeah.
how they get you. Don't fall for it.
So, just to summarize
Yeah.
with all this organization stuff that I'm
Mhm.
going to have to do.
Mhm.
First things first, room myself.
Yes. I would say.
And then whichever day you're at when you're starting at this point, get the next week
Yeah.
or 2 or 3 if you're, a sociopath or
But
something.
But see, my like assessments and things are due like 2
Yeah.
3 weeks in advance. Like your podcast, I guess, would probably be due the same week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Generally.
But like
yeah.
for me, it's like I have to plan 2 3 weeks in
Yeah.
advance because everything is due. Yeah, then. But it's up to you.
Yeah.
A week is definitely good to start with, I think.
Yeah. Okay, so if you're at uni and you have, assessments due in 4 weeks, 6 weeks, it does help to think that far forward. And then even if it's, I have an assessment in 6 weeks and you're generally, you have 2 weeks planned, it doesn't mean you have to then plan the next 4 weeks. It just means that
you just have it down.
you have it down that, so in 6 weeks, and then you do what you do and you work backwards so that you can start in 2 weeks from now.
Exactly.
And then when you get there, it'll
then
already be
it'll
plan. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Gotcha. Okay. Easy. And that's it. But you got to be organized. Have it, print it out. Yeah. Have it where you can see it. Have it so that you can, cross things off. And and what about every day though? Like, am I waking up every morning and then sorting out my day via productivity and like priority?
I would probably usually do it like the night before. Yeah. Just so you can kind of, I don't know, sometimes it really depends on what you want. Maybe you'll think of like a last minute thing, like when you're in bed the night before and you're like, oh, I have to do that tomorrow, you know what I mean? Then you can write it down. But yeah, I would just say list all the things you need to do, and then maybe the next day or even then you just order them in list of priority, like what you really have to do, and then things that you really could do another day but you want to get done on that thing.
Are you a journal person? Are you someone who before they go to bed they write in their little journal? Like,
I don't have a journal, no, but I have like an app, and sometimes I write like what I did if anything interesting happened.
Okay. I was more talking about like see, I have this.
Oh no, it's all gonna fall. Oh my goodness.
That's alright.
Oh,
that's alright.
Okay.
So you had this.
Right. That's pretty.
Yeah, it is very pretty. My mum got it for me like last year birthday. It's really pretty.
Oh, your birthday's next week, isn't it?
Yeah, and I have this as like a not a dreams and goals journal. You know what I mean?
Right.
Do you have one of those?
I guess I kind of have that on notes on my phone.
Okay, so
I have like 300 notes. I don't know if that's a normal person thing, but
I don't think so.
Okay.
But that's okay. So you just use notes instead?
I just use notes. Like, usually I don't have like a big note of everything, but if I have anything interesting, I'll just write it in a note. That's probably why I have so many.
Yeah.
I just open a new one and like write it down, or like if I think about something I have to do, I'll write it down, and then like I'll go back and check all my little ones to see like what I did. But yeah, I don't really have a thing like that, but I want to get into it, that I think making bigger goals and dreams and things like that in a big note or book, I guess.
Okay. Japan. So we'll start at the beginning.
All right.
So, and the beginning is you went to Japan on a small 1 month exchange.
Well, if you want to go to the very, very beginning.
Yeah, we're going to go to the very, very beginning.
Okay. So basically I went to 2 different high schools, right? And at my first high school, we had to do Japanese. It was compulsory to do Japanese as a language at my school.
Wait, what school was this?
St. Columbus.
Okay, yeah.
And I don't know if we were made to do it in year 7 or year 8 or both. I think it was both, maybe. I'm not sure. I wasn't there for very long. But I had to do Japanese. So I did Japanese there, and I liked it. And then I met a girl who became my best friend at that time, who was half Japanese, and we talked, and she shared like really interesting things, and I, like the little perfectionist in me, it's like, I'm gonna beat everyone, I'm gonna be really good at this. So then I just like studied Japanese, and when we had assessments and things, I just used to do well because I studied. My Japanese teacher at that time wasn't my favorite person, so it was a little like, I wasn't too into it then.
Yeah.
But I definitely liked it, and I wanted to keep going. Then I moved to grammar. And then when I was at grammar, Miss Evans, oh my Lord, I love her so much. She is the best person and the best teacher and the best Japanese person I've ever met. She's just so amazing. And she really, I don't know what to say, like fostered that love for Japanese in me.
Wow, that was beautiful.
Thank you. So she like really helped me study more. She would give me all these resources that she had. Like we went on excursions to fun Japanese places in the city. It was just really fun. And then I think year 9 or year 10, the school Japanese trip came. Wait, was that first? No, it wasn't first. The exchange students from Japan came to here. And they didn't have very many people who wanted to do it. So Miss Evans said to all our Japanese class, like, would anyone be open to
Hosting?
It's only for like 2 days. Like, can you just host them for just a little bit?
Yep.
And my family was like, yeah, sure, why not? I think in the beginning, actually, I was really like, no, I don't want to do that.
Really?
Because I didn't want another person like staying in my room, because it had to be my room, because obviously I'm the older sister. I have to move everything.
Jeez,
And,
life was like a 15-year-old was hard.
I know, right? So I just didn't want anyone like being in my room, and like I just didn't really want to do it. And my parents were really pushing for it, saying like, oh, this would be a really good thing. We think we should do it. And then we ended up doing it. And the girl who I met then, I'm actually like really good friends with her even still now, like 5-6 years later. She really made me love Japan even more. We're really good friends. And I'm really grateful that we actually ended up doing it. And then the next year we went to Japan on the school trip, and we went to their school, like her school, and saw her there, and they gave us like Japanese performances and food, and it was just the best.
Wish I went. I wish I went.
I know, you could have gone, right?
I know. I think I could have gone. I don't know.
Yeah.
I just
didn't want to or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was really fun. It was really fun. There were some bad moments as well, but like
when you're with the school of teens,
with them every day as well.
You know, there's gonna be some mishaps.
Yeah. But no, it was really fun. And then after that, I guess I kind of just really absolutely fell in love with Japanese and Japan and everything. It's not so much for me like anime kind of stuff that people might normally be into, but it's more for me like the actual language, like the people, the like history, I guess. Not so much like the technology and anime side. But no hate to you if you're into that. And then
How dare you, Eloise?
Sorry. Well, because people always ask me, like, even when I went there, they were like, oh, do you like anime? And I'd be like, oh, like, kinda, like, you know, because I guess they're just used to foreign people really liking anime.
Right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And then after that, Miss Evans actually really, I would say encouraged me to apply to this thing where you could go on exchange to Japan for a month, or like all paid for.
Really? All paid for?
And you lived with you didn't have to pay for flights, yeah. Because it was a sister city thing. Blue Mountains Council is a sister city of Sanda in Japan. That's what it's called. So every year, I think they still do it, maybe not because of COVID, but they send 1 or 2 people over from here to go to like a school there and be like ambassador for bringing the sister cities together.
Wow.
Kind of thing. It sounds a lot more interesting than it was. Like a lot more, like high, like prestigious.
Yeah.
So basically I just applied for that, and I didn't really think I would get it. I wasn't sure like how many people would apply and whatever. But when I went and then I got an interview, and I was like, oh my God, this might actually be a thing that I get to do. This is crazy. And then when I went to the interview, they were asking me really easy questions in Japanese. So I was like, damn, like, this is how easy it's going to be. Maybe I can actually do this. So I was like replying to them in Japanese, because you obviously had to speak a little bit.
Yeah.
And then like a couple weeks later, I got like an email that said like, you got it. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is going to be so fun. I was a bit nervous because I think it was a couple weeks.
Yeah.
That I would be away from my family. The longest I'd been was 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that would be like staying at a hotel or something. But this was going to be staying with a family for a month.
Which is so exciting.
It was really exciting.
Yeah.
So then I went there for a month.
Where's there specifically?
Sanda, the city.
Okay, so where's that? Was it
It's
near?
a really tiny city near Osaka.
Okay.
Probably like an hour or two from Osaka.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Don't know where that is, but I'm sure.
Okay,
I'm sure
if you're
people who
looking-
know things.
If you're
know
looking
where
at
that is.
Japan, like the bottom bit, kind of.
Okay.
So you have Tokyo's in the middle.
Yep.
Then the bottom bit is kind of like Osaka, Kyoto.
Mm-hmm.
So like near Osaka, kind of like 2 hours in.
Yeah.
Around there. Yeah. So I went in the school holidays like September, October, in year 10. It must have been.
Year 10.
Yeah. So I went for the whole school holidays and I stayed there. I went to school every day, and
What was that like?
it was so much fun. Oh my gosh. I had no expectations really of what it would
Mhm.
be, because I guess if you watch anime you can kind of tell like what the school life is like in Japan.
Right.
No, but it was really, really cool.
Mm.
Like catching the train to school. Like the buildings are basically exactly like anime, like just one building.
Just like
There's
anime.
ro-
Yeah.
There's like rows of like individual desks, you know.
Yeah. It's a
like-
typical Japanese high
Right,
school.
Exactly,
Mhm.
exactly.
Did they
and
have the
I-
rooftop where you go up get on the roof of the
They
school?
did, but you weren't allowed to go there.
Ah,
Yeah.
was that a senior thing or?
I think it was a not allowed at all thing.
Oh. That's
But
fair.
it was really, really fun and
Mm.
just like so different. Because I'd never gone to school in another place.
I know.
I've been to 2 Australian high schools, but never another place. So I was
Mhm.
like, wow, this is really, really cool. Just seeing how different people do schooling
Yep.
and like how they learn things, how their PE classes were so different to ours, and just everything. It was really, really, really cool.
How are their
And-
PE classes different?
Like, for example, we had to do all these really weird things. Like,
Okay.
even when I went there on exchange for the year, like,
Mhm.
it was just, like, I don't even know how to describe
What
it.
do you mean? What are
Okay,
you doing over there?
So we would, you know how in Australia you do, like, those fitness tests and things?
Yep.
So we would do those as well.
Yep.
What else did we do? But they were just weirder. We had to do this one. Oh, my gosh. It was
Uh-huh.
actually kind of funny. It was basically like a deadlift thing.
Okay.
But you had to hold onto like this machine and it was chained to the ground, and then you had to just pull up as hard as you can.
Right.
So then it's like how much weight can you lift?
Yeah.
Right? And I got the best in the whole school for it.
In the whole school.
Everyone was just so weak for girls,
Oh, okay.
but everyone
Big,
was like
big,
I know.
big,
guns.
strong Aussie.
basically. But like things like that. It was just like really interesting. We had to do warm-ups before we started PE.
Mm-hmm.
So we would all stand in a line,
Mm-hmm.
and then 2 people from the class, like the head girls from each class.
Was it just girls?
Oh, PE was split by girls and boys.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so you only did PE with girls.
Oh, why is
boys.
that? Is it just?
I have no idea. It just was like that.
Mhm.
And then we would like do a warm up, and we would all stand in a line, like,
Mhm.
and do like things like this, and like they would say like one, like in Japanese, like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then everyone else would be like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then they would do something. Like it was so like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then they would like do like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then everyone else would just follow.
Right. So how
kind of thing.
how many days, like, how long did it take you to adapt to this whole situation of living with a new family and going to a new school and?
I guess for the month exchange that I
Yeah.
did, probably the whole time I was just like, oh my God, this is so fun. Oh my God, oh my
Mhm.
God. It didn't like sink in, I guess.
Yep.
When I was there, so after the month thing, I went for
Mhm.
a year.
Straight away?
So that must have been year 10. Then year 11, I was here. And then the whole of year 12, I went away.
So you had to wait a whole year before you could go back again.
Yes. I stayed a whole year. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I went in January the next year.
Yeah.
In 2019.
And you knew straight away after doing a month that you wanted to do a year?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to come back here.
Yeah.
Because originally I was just thinking of doing 2 months. So after that exchange, I was like, I definitely want to do it again. I wasn't really sure about a year. I'd heard about them, but I thought that's a bit too much for me. I don't want to miss out on year 12. I just want to do like a little one.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to do the 2 months year, like January, December, January,
Mm-hmm. Working
Um,
backwards.
before I went to year 12.
Mm-hmm.
And then do you remember Alex, the German guy? So he was doing a year 1, and I talked to him. He was friends with a couple of my friends, so I was close with him. He was in my homeroom as well.
Yeah.
And then I was talking to him about it, and I really wanted to do a year. So I went to the information night for the same company that he went for,
Mm-hmm.
which was Rotary.
Oh, Rotary.
Yeah.
Really?
They have a youth exchange. It's called Rotary Youth Exchange.
Oh, wow.
I know. Crazy. So I went to like the information night and I was just like, yes, I have to do this. There's no way I'm not going. And then came in like, oh my God, I'm not going to see my friends graduate. I'm going to have to repeat whatever. But I was like, I just have to do it. I just have to do it. So then, yeah, I applied and I got that as well. So then I went for a year. When I went for the year, it probably took me a bit longer to kind of get into it, I guess.
Yep.
Because in the beginning, I was like, I can't believe what I'm doing. Why am I here? I'm like freaking out.
Yeah.
On the plane as well, going there, I was like, oh my God, what have I done? What have I done?
How much stuff did you bring with you for a year?
For a year, I brought a suitcase. I went back with so much more, though.
Yeah.
My parents had to actually come to Japan to take stuff home.
They couldn't just send you a suitcase or something?
Well,
or?
I had like 3 suitcases. Like full, like big suitcases.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not talking like little carry-on ones.
Yeah.
So I went over with one I actually lived in the snow as well. So I really needed winter clothes, which are heavy and big.
Yeah.
Which is not fun for me to carry. But just one suitcase and then a carry-on suitcase and a bag.
I'm so jealous. It sounds so amazing.
It was amazing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know what else you want me to say.
Well, we're gonna break it down. So
break it down, okay.
Well, I want to know what it was like a normal school day was like for you.
A normal school day, okay. So I moved families 4 different times.
Yep.
So I stayed for each family for about 3 months.
Yep.
It varied. Some were 2, some were a bit longer, 4, but about 3 months each. Just so staying with anyone longer than 3 months as a guest is a bit pushing it. So I just stayed with them for 3 months. So it kind of depended on what house I was at as to what my day would look like.
And we were at the same school the entire time?
The same school the entire time.
That's great.
Yeah, it was so good.
Yeah.
And then Japan obviously is in the northern hemisphere. So their school years are in the middle of the year rather than the end. So I swapped, I graduated from year 10 until year 11 halfway through the year. So I did change classes. So because I don't know if you know, in Japan, you stay with the same people for every single one of your classes.
Oh, really?
Right. So in Australia, you would choose electives.
Yep.
And then you would go to the class, right?
Yeah.
But in Japan, you stay in the same classroom with the same people at the same desk.
Do you think that's better?
I don't know. I think both of them definitely have their pros and cons. For me, I really enjoyed it because I was with the same people, so I could make really, really good friends.
Yeah.
Especially for me because I was going to leave.
Yeah.
I guess if you were there the whole time, you might get a bit annoyed. And also, I didn't have to actually study. I didn't have to do any work, right? I just sat there and...
Huh?
Obviously, it's all in Japanese. I don't understand. Learning history in English is hard, right? Learning English in English is hard.
Yeah.
I don't know Japanese in Japanese.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
So you were in class just
learning chemistry in Japanese.
Right.
There ain't no way I'm focusing. I actually skipped.
So what'd you do then for...
I would just sit there and listen and pretend to take it in.
So that's what you do at school?
Well, we had English classes as well. So in
so
English, I would help.
You do whatever you could.
Right.
But otherwise, you've got no idea what they're talking about.
Well, in the end, I definitely had a better idea. In the beginning, no idea at all.
Yeah. And they know this? They know that you're just sitting there
Yeah. Well, the teacher would give us worksheets and things. Maths was really difficult because I couldn't read any of the problems, but also I had no idea what they were doing because I did general maths and this was extension. So I had no idea, but they would give me things and I would try and do them or we had health classes and they would show videos and things. So I would watch that. In English class, learning English, I would help people with that.
You'd help them with their English.
Yeah, and teach them. But in Japan, they learn American English. So my pronunciation.
American English.
Yeah.
Really?
Pronunciation and words and things, how to spell.
Yeah.
So my accent was sometimes an issue. The teacher would get me to say things because I could speak English.
You can speak English. And
then everyone would be like, what is she saying? I remember it was can't, the word can't, C-A-N-T.
Can't. I can't
And in America they say can't.
Oh.
So I was saying, and they sound really different if you don't know what they mean.
Yeah.
Can't and can't.
Yeah.
That doesn't really sound the same. So
No.
if I was saying that, they would just have no idea. It was kind of bad, but anyway.
Wow. That's weird. That's crazy.
And like the way they spell words as well. Like we spell it like with U and S, and they spell it with R and Z.
It's raining.
Oh my gosh.
I love the rain. Okay, wait. So, take me through a normal day.
Okay, a normal day.
Let's.
Sorry.
Would your days change at all depending on where you were staying?
Kind of like more just like in the morning, whether my host parents would drive me there or I would catch the train. I would say for most of the time I caught the train, 3 out of the 4 families I did. So I would say probably like wake up around like 6. I know I woke up here at like 8 or something.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
It was a big difference.
Yeah.
Eventually get used to it. Wake up at around 6, get ready, and then for one of the host families I had to walk about an hour to the train, or maybe not an hour, maybe like 45 minutes to the train station.
That sucks.
Another one, I lived right next door to the train station, so I would just walk there. Another one, I would get driven to the train station, so it just depends. But go to the train station, then catch the train for like half an hour, then get there, and then I would walk to school. So everyone else who lived.
What was that like the first time doing that?
It was, yeah, kind of cool.
Kind of cool? Scary?
My first host family used to drive me, and I think maybe it was because I was kind of new.
They knew that was your first time, and
yeah. But after I'd been with them for 3 months, like catching the train was like, yeah, like this is my life now. I feel so cool, like with all the other people catching the train.
And was it always someone? There was always a student that was going to the school that you were staying with.
Yeah. Oh no. I didn't stay with any students.
Oh, so you
it
only
would just be by myself.
Yeah, but they were just with families that would host.
Families.
Okay.
Most of the families were from the Rotary Club that I like went to in Japan.
Yeah.
So they were all really old.
Okay.
So
sounds about right for Rotary.
Yeah. My first host family was about 70 or 80 years old, just a couple, and I stayed with them. Then my next one they were probably like 50, and they had one older son who was like 20, 25. And he wasn't there very often because he would like go out at nights and whatever. So I didn't really see him that often. Then my third one was a bit of a younger family. I actually lived in a temple.
A temple?
A temple.
Sorry,
my
what?
host dad was a monk. Like he used to like, I can show you photos. It's really cool.
You're going to have to show me. A monk. Was he bald?
He was like no, he wasn't like that. No. Like it was like a special kind of one.
A special monk.
But like our house was insane.
Really?
It was massive because they get all the money from the government because if you live at a temple.
Really?
It was insane. Our bath tub was a whole room.
Huh?
We had like a bathroom. Like a literal bath room.
What the fuck?
It was really cool. And then my last family was just like these 2 older women. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm trying to think of how I want to break this down because
do you want me to do a day? I said so many things.
Let's do a typical day in life.
Okay.
Including like all the things that you'd have to do at home.
Yeah.
Like even because we don't have to take our shoes off when we come in.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Oh
like,
my gosh. Okay.
We don't have to bow, and you know what I mean? Like
right.
what that would look like if you were to wake up in the morning and go back to exactly where you were in Japan.
I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
So yeah, wake up 6. Either walk to the train station, get driven there, whatever. Catch the train.
What about breakfast?
Oh, I would, probably have breakfast.
You make your own breakfast?
Sometimes I would make it. Sometimes they would give it to me, just depending on who I was with. My first host family, the older like woman, would make me like a full Japanese like fish, rice, vegetables breakfast.
Yeah.
So that was fun. I loved that. The other ones kind of like it was more just like get your own thing, like cereal, like there's rice in the cooker if you want any. Yeah. Whatever. Some host families, again, I would make my own lunch, or they would make it for me.
And what about the language barrier? Were you still, what was that like, them trying to communicate with you?
In the beginning, it was quite difficult. But I'd say after the first host family, it was pretty okay. Yeah. I just I guess I didn't really know what, words meant. Like, for example, like dishwasher. I didn't know what that was. Mm-hmm. Washing machine, like laundry. Yeah. Why would I need to say that before I went there? Mm-hmm. I'd never learnt those words. Mm-hmm. It's like saying like, oh, I need to do some laundry, or like, can I put this in the dishwasher? Was like, I had no idea how to say that. Yep. So basically, the first couple months were a lot of miming.
Like, just trying to...
and Google Translate.
Dishwasher.
Yeah. Or just like trying to say it in English, hoping they would
Yeah.
think like the same thing. Or just using other words I knew,
Yeah.
like wash and then like plate or something. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of miming. But
Mhm.
after that, it was pretty much okay. Like I would come across words I
Picked
didn't
it up.
know sometimes, but I
Mhm.
would just write them down on my phone if I heard them in conversation.
Yeah.
And then look it up later. So yeah, and then catch the train. So like the train here, kind of like you see school students, they would all catch the train together, kind
Yeah.
of. So I would see my friends on the train, and then we would get to the train station and then walk to school. It took about like another 20 minutes to walk. This is in the snow as well, like walking in the snow, like it was snowing, like snow, like from the ground to here.
What's that like?
It was crazy.
A lot of fun.
In the beginning, I was like, it's snowing, but then at the end, I was like if I
Fucking
slip over one more time, I'm gonna kill
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah. Like, stop fucking snowing.
Yeah, and it's so annoying if it's like snowing a lot. You can't even like see because like goes on your eyelashes. And
Right.
sometimes I would be on my phone like FaceTiming my family, and my phone would just freeze and it would die. Like, so I had to wait and then do it again like
Yeah.
another time. But it
Just-
would freeze all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to keep it in my pocket, really close to my body.
Mm-hmm. So what was the school uniform like for...
We actually didn't have a uniform.
Oh, you didn't have a
I
uniform.
know, I was kind of disappointed, but because I think almost all Japanese schools have uniforms, but the one I went to didn't. And in the end, I was kind of glad because I used to get so cold all the time.
Right.
I was glad I could just wear like whatever
you wanted.
warm clothes
Get
I
up
wanted.
in the morning and just, yeah.
So yeah, we didn't have a uniform. That was kind of cool. And then once you get to school, you go to your classroom. So you have the same classroom all day.
You stay in that classroom.
Yeah, the teachers move.
Oh, the teachers move.
So like,
Wait, so you don't have any electives?
Well, it's like you choose like a line kind of.
Right.
To be honest, I didn't really know how it worked because I didn't understand that much.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure it's like, you choose like maths, science, kind of history, that kind of thing. And then if you choose like the maths line, these are all the subjects that you have to do, and you'll all get put in the same homeroom.
Mm-hmm.
Then science line, these are all the subjects,
And what
kind of
about
like
art? Are there like, was there
You
drama
can-
class or anything? Do they have drama? Like, could you have chosen like, okay, I want to do maths. Like, everyone, like, there's like
Yeah.
4 maths lines, but instead of maths and then, all the sciences, it's maths, and all the arts, and then it's maths, and
I think maybe. But once you were in those classes, like those were the ones that you had to do. You couldn't really change.
Yeah.
For me though, I was allowed to choose like some electives because I think it might have just been me letting them letting me do whatever I wanted.
Right.
So I did calligraphy.
Calligraphy.
Like
Uh-huh.
which was really fun. I did music for a bit. I don't think we had drama. Drama would have been like after school, kind of like drama
Yep.
club, not as a subject.
Yep.
But yeah, you kind of just chose a line, and then
Mhm.
those were the people who you were in the homeroom. So you stay in the same classroom all day. The teachers move.
Wow.
Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Mhm.
So you had hooks on your desk. So each person has an individual desk, and they're all facing forward, right? Like in lines.
Yep.
So get my bag out, get my lunchbox out. They had hooks on the desk so you could hang up like your lunch. So that's what I would do.
Get yourself organised for the
Yeah,
day.
get yourself
Come in, just
organised.
lunchbox bag,
Pretty much.
ready to go.
Exactly. I would get to school at maybe like 8-ish, and then school would start at 8:10.
Mm-hmm.
Then we'd have homeroom for a little bit, and then we would have 4 periods. The periods were an hour long, and then we'd have a 10-minute break in between, or maybe they were 50 minutes.
You had only 4 1-hour periods
No.
for subjects.
Then we would have lunch after 4 periods. So
what?
So there's no recess. You have those 10-minute breaks. Like people would go to the bathroom. You could eat something. You could go. We had a bread shop at the bottom of our school,
Okay.
so you could go to the bread shop.
Yep.
We had vending machines in the school as well. You could go there.
Yep.
And it was 10 minutes. Like it was a decent amount of time that you could
Yeah.
like quickly eat something.
Yep.
And
Between each
then-
class.
Exactly. So
So
we have
you-
4 periods.
So what time is lunch? Like 2 o'clock or something?
Yeah, lunch was like 1, 2, maybe. I don't exactly remember.
That's lunch.
Lunch. And that would go for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, you just usually stay inside. You don't really eat outside. So we would move all the desks together, like my friend group,
Mm.
and then we'd just eat around the desks in our
Yep.
classroom. And then after that, we'd have 2 more periods.
Okay.
Another period
So
break.
you got
another
6.
period
You
break.
got 6. You got 6 periods of an
Yeah.
hour.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then after that, we would have like afternoon homeroom.
Afternoon home, and is that like you have to go to that, or is
yeah.
it? Yeah.
So you stay then, like she'll say like my homeroom teacher was a woman, so she would say like what we would do the next day. She would say like whatever, like things, and then after that
What's the time now?
now it's probably like 3 or 4.
That's a long day. They have long days.
Then just wait. We also had a coat rack at the back of our room because like all the winter coats, right?
Yeah.
I think normal places probably don't have that. It's just because we're
just because they're smart.
in the snow.
Yeah.
So then we would like everyone would get their coats and pack up the desks and push them all to the back of the classroom, and then we had a roster, and depending on who it was that day, you had to clean the classroom. So you had to sweep up things. They had used chalkboards, so you would have to like wipe down the chalkboard, like do the duster things, like take out the rubbish because they don't have janitors at schools in Japan.
Yeah, they get the students to clean.
Yeah. Which, you know,
I think's fair.
Yeah, you make your own mess, like clean it up, basically. So yeah, we would clean depending on who was on the roster, and then you would go to your clubs, whatever clubs you did.
So you had to do a club?
You didn't have to. I did 3 because
Eloise.
because I was like, I'm gonna make the most of it.
Yeah.
Usually people would only do 1 every day, but I just wanted to do everything. So I was in newspaper club. So the school newspaper.
Wow.
Making it, writing it, interviewing people.
Interviewing people?
Going to restaurants, interviewing, like taking their food and like taking photos, trying things. It was a good newspaper.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Now. It was a lot of fun. I was in tea ceremony club. I have videos. So like making the tea, like.
You're going to have to show me all these videos after.
I will. The tea ceremony person as well. She was like 80 years old. She really liked me. And she invited me to her house with a couple of my friends. And her house was like super traditional, like with the sliding doors and like wood floors and everything.
Wow.
And she did a tea ceremony for us. And she made us all this like food and stuff.
Wow.
It was really cool.
Must have been a really
she would
amazing
wear kimonos
experience.
every day as well.
Wow.
And then I was in volleyball club because I thought, let me get a little sport in here.
Mix it up a little bit.
And I'd never done volleyball before. So I thought, like, I don't want to do like a basketball or like soccer, something I already could do here.
Yeah. Yep.
So I did volleyball. So that was fun.
Wow.
Yeah. And then.
So were these so the T one was on like a Tuesday and Thursday, or volleyball was Monday and Friday.
Yeah.
So that's how you kind of just split
it up.
Yeah.
So for the sports clubs, they were on every day. But like they knew that I was an exchange student, and they let me just come like whenever I was free. Tea ceremony club I think was Tuesday and Thursday, and then newspaper was every day again. But they knew that I could just come when I could. So yeah, every day I would do a different one depending on like what they needed, what I felt like.
Yep.
And then that would probably go. Maybe until like 8 or 9.
Huh? 8 or 9? What about dinner?
Well,
I'm starving at 6
okay,
o'clock,
probably
Eloise.
Probably 8. Let's say 8. So I went till 8.
So you wake up at 6.
Yeah.
And you're still at school until 8.
Pretty much. And I didn't have to do any homework or study, mind you. Like, they would have to study after this as well.
Did they?
Japanese people are insane.
Yeah, they sound like they should all be in a mental hospital or something.
They probably need
That's
it.
too much.
It's too much.
You agree it's too much?
I agree it's too much.
Right.
Like, it's
You
too
need a
much.
break. You need to chill.
I didn't even study, and I
Yeah.
was sleeping in class.
Yep. Well, do you
People
find
do.
a lot of people?
All the time.
Really? Jeez.
All the time.
Yeah, I slept in class.
But like very obvious about it, like this, like.
Oh yeah.
Like that. Like,
When
yeah.
I slept in class, like I slept, like I got a good hour or
Yeah.
something.
So yeah, they would sleep.
Jesus,
but yeah,
that just looks. Sorry, that's just crazy. Like as a teacher or whoever,
Right.
and you see these students just exhausted.
And they
And
would
then-
make some mean teachers would make them wake up.
Yeah.
Like nice teachers would just leave you,
Yeah.
but mean teacher. I had this one. It was for ethics. My
Ooh,
ethics teacher.
the ethics teacher's mean.
And he
Wow,
was so
great
mean.
ethics.
And he
they've
would
got.
make people wake up all the time.
Yeah.
And it was so boring, his voice as well. It was like the perfect voice to make you fall asleep.
And then he'd wake you up. Wow.
So yeah, finish like it depends kind of what club I would have as well, but around like 8. And then
What did you do for dinner? Did you eat
no,
before 8?
I'm about to eat after this. I have to go home to eat. So then I would walk to the train station with my friends and then catch the train home again.
And
then
when does
walk
it get
to
dark?
where I lived, maybe like 4
4.
or 5.
That's all right. 4 or 5. 4.
Sunset was probably like 4 maybe.
Wow.
But it was snowing the whole time basically.
So
it
you
was
didn't
kind
really see that much light.
Yeah, it was like cloudy.
Yeah, cloudy.
But it would definitely get dark when you were leaving
Yeah,
school.
yeah.
It would definitely, especially in like the winter months,
Yeah,
like January and December.
super dark.
It was super dark and
Yeah.
like snowing. You couldn't see anything.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like fun, to be honest.
It was a lot of fun. And actually, I have some photos as well. In like the winter months, they would put tea lights in the snow. They would dig out holes in the snow to the path leading from school to the train station.
Wow.
So it would like be like little tea lights. It was really cute. So yeah, then go home, catch the train, then walk home again, depending on where I was, and then eat dinner at home, chill with my host family for a bit.
Have a shower and go to bed.
Have a shower and go to bed. Do it all again the next day.
There's no room for anything else.
On the weekends, like I would hang out with my friends and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was also kind of cool because when they had like exam week or whatever, I just had the week off. And literally one time with my host family, I went to Okinawa, which is the bottom part of Japan. It's like Japan's Hawaii.
Okay.
And I just stayed there for a week with my host family.
Wow.
While all of my friends are busy doing exams. I felt kind of bad, but
Yeah.
it was real fun.
It's just crazy. Like from you start school at 8:10 and you're still there until 8.
I know.
But just why though? Just why?
I
just
know.
like.
It was.
Do you need that much school? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Do you need that much?
Probably not, to be honest.
Like for us, it was 8:30 until 3.
And that was when
and
I
that
was
was
doing
enough.
it. That was a lot.
That was enough. Like that was, like you get there at 8:30. Well, we get there slightly before, you know.
Yeah.
Class starts at 8:30. You get through the first 2 periods. Recess.
But
Yay.
yeah, there's no reason.
And then 3rd period, 20 minutes homeroom tutor groups. Lunch, which is 45 minutes, and then another 2 hours. And that was all right because it was split up quite nicely. But to do 4, like that, it's almost
you
like
go talk to the
it's
Minister
almost
of
like
Education.
having the 10 to 15 minutes after each class to like have a little bit of a break for the next one.
Yeah.
It's like they have that so that you can get through
Pretty
6
much.
hours of class and all
Yeah, it was intense, but I enjoyed it.
That's
and
good.
like
I'm glad you
calligraphy
enjoyed
classes and stuff as well was really fun. It was a lot of fun.
it. Okay, so wow, I don't know what to ask you now. I've done a full day.
For PE classes, I have something funny to say. For PE classes, we had a like ski mountain. I don't know what you call it. Like I know what it is in like ski resort. We had a ski resort about like maybe 10-15 minutes away from our school. So for PE lessons, we would go there and ski.
No. How long were your lessons? Did you have like 2 hours or something?
Well, if it was a day that we had PE, we would usually have half a day off. So
Half a day off.
no, for skiing.
Oh,
we would have-
no. Yeah, for skiing. Half a day off. Yeah.
So we would have classes in the morning, and then
Yep.
we would have skiing in the afternoon, and then the other half of the school would go the other way around. So they would ski in the morning, then have class in the afternoon.
Sounds
Yeah,
awesome.
sounds
I wish we could just get rid of half of school and go skiing.
I know. And my vice principal as well, he studied in Australia when he was young, so he knew English really well, and
That's great.
he used to be a ski instructor.
Oh, wow.
So me and him, we would have like one-on-one lessons because I had never, ever been to the snow before.
Yeah.
Before this, I'd never really seen snow, never been skiing. I was with the same level as like the toddlers, like trying to stand up and like move. So he really taught me how to actually stand and move and do whatever. It was really, really fun.
That's great. Wow. How often did you do that?
In winter, so winter is probably, for where I lived, it was probably like from November to maybe like March because the snow would have to melt.
Really?
There would be so much snow. So it's opposite as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the snow would have to melt.
That's
so
a long
the whole,
time, though.
almost all of spring, the snow was just melting because there was so much snow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So probably in those months, maybe like once a week, or maybe a bit less.
That's fun.
Yeah.
So,
was really
so you're there for a whole year.
Oh yeah, I was there January 19. That's when I left.
For Mum's birthday.
2019. There you go. And then I came back January 11th, 2020, right before COVID.
That's true. Right before COVID.
I'm so glad I got it in before then. Yeah.
Wow. and then you had to repeat.
I had to repeat
Year-
year 12.
year 12.
Yeah. Well, it's not like repeating because I never
You
really
never
did
did
it in
it,
the first place, but it's just like,
But
yeah.
everyone
doing
else
it.
left.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that like?
In the beginning, it was kind of sucky, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. Like,
Different the year group below you, and
yeah, it was like,
not having all your familiar friends that you hung
Right,
around with when you
right.
were at grammar.
right, and
Mm.
the class dynamics were just not how I was used to, like lunchtimes and that as well. Like, I don't mind being by myself, so sometimes I would just go to the library and study or whatever. But, yeah. Eventually, I found my friend group, but in the beginning, it was a bit like...
Yeah.
And I just wanted to be back in Japan. I was
Oh,
like, I've
no.
already had my fun. I don't want to really be here anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to go back.
And you still think about that now?
Yeah.
I want to go to Japan too.
I'll
How
take
could you not?
Japan is so fun.
I want to go.
Throughout the year as well, that girl who stayed with me the first time, I think her name was Miyu. I went to her house. So, like, I asked her if I could come, and she let me stay at her house for, like, a week with her family, like she did with mine. And then her family took me on, like, all these adventures and things, and
Aw,
it was really cute.
that's great.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what questions to ask you.
I can show you photos, but I guess they can't really see on the thing.
Yeah, we'll do that after.
Okay.
So did you go on any other trips with host families or with the school?
Yes, actually. So in the middle of the year, my Rotary club was going on like a Rotary club visit to another club. So I went.
Wow,
Sorry.
that sounds so exciting.
It was actually because I didn't have to pay anything.
Oh
they
wow,
took me.
that's why it was exciting.
Yeah. And if you see my Instagram,
Mhm.
like they're not called geisha, they're called, what are they called? Maiko. Like have you seen my Instagram with this video? Okay, it's fine.
No,
You
you got to
don't follow me,
explain.
it's
You got to
fine.
explain.
So like we spent the one night with Maiko, so they're like all dressed up in like the thing, and they just play games with you. They sing, they dance, like karaoke they did with us. I have videos. It was so fun. And usually they're
Wait,
like,
so you just go to this place?
they come to you wherever you are.
These are people you hire to like
Yeah, yeah.
host,
Yeah, like
being
I guess
they're just entertainment.
like in English it kind of sounds weird, like hiring girls to like entertain you.
Yeah.
But like it's nothing like that. Like
Yeah.
they just dance for you. They play like the traditional
They just
instruments.
dance for you.
Okay. Well, you get what I mean. Like they like, yeah, they entertain you. Like they make
Yep.
you have fun wherever
Yep.
you are, right?
Wow, that sounds like like amazing. Like seriously.
Yeah, right?
Like,
It was
just
so
being
fun.
able to hire people,
Right?
come follow me around for the whole day,
Pretty much.
and let's just have fun,
They followed you, yeah. We would like go to like a karaoke
sounds like
class
the
and they would
best
just
job.
like follow us.
and just follow you.
Pretty much, yeah. But to pay for them like normally, I think it's like $1,000 just for like one for like a night, and like,
For like a night.
girl, I didn't even have to pay for it. So
Yeah.
I was vibing. So yeah, we went for like
What a
couple
job.
weeks, right?
To think that's a job where someone
Well,
can
you have
pay
to
you.
be like super like,
Etiquette. There's a
Yeah.
you know I get it, but to be able to just follow people around and just like have fun with
yeah,
maybe one or two other girls that work with you as well,
right,
and you just have fun. That's your job.
Literally.
Like your job, you bring the vibes.
right.
That's your job.
Exactly.
I'm gonna pay you to bring the good party
Uh-huh.
vibes.
And they have like
They-
different levels depending on how experienced you are. And we had like a couple, I think we had 2 different levels. And then there was one girl who was actually 16. She was learning to do it. And her and I were the same age at the time. So we
Yeah.
would hang out together. And she, like, we would have really cool conversations. And I asked her for her like social media or whatever. And she wasn't allowed to give it to me. But then right at the end, as I was leaving, she like wrote her like thing down on a little piece of
Aw.
paper and gave it to me.
That's cute.
So now I have a thing because like they're meant to be kind of, I don't want to say in character, but they're meant to be like a certain person. You have
Yeah.
to view them as a certain way. You can't view them as just a regular person who
Yeah.
has social media.
Yeah, you can't view them as your friend who you'd catch up with on the
Right,
weekend.
right.
Like
Yeah. So
Yeah.
she had to be this person, but then afterwards she like ran and gave it to me before I was
Yeah.
leaving. But yeah, so we had that trip. That was really fun. And I did a lot of fun things then because I didn't have to pay for anything. So they would all pay for me.
mhm.
And then I also went to Okinawa with one of my host families. I think I said that before. It's at the bottom. And then in Japan in year 11, you have a school trip, kind of like how we go maybe to like Canberra or something.
Right.
But we took a plane. So we flew
A school trip on a plane. So like your
with
Japanese
200
trip.
200 students.
Oh, so you
200,
booked out
300.
the whole plane.
Pretty much. Like whole hotel. Like, that kind of thing. And unlike that, we were allowed to do whatever we wanted every single day. So we actually had to plan our days. I think...
They just let you do whatever you want.
Yeah.
They have no issues
think
about
maybe-
kids fucking running off.
Yeah, literally nothing. I think there was some things that we had to do together. What was it? I don't remember. Oh, like being at the bus on time or something. Or
Well,
like
that makes
visiting like a
sense.
special landmark.
Yeah.
Like we would all have to, you have to be at the bus at this time and you have to go to here. You can't go anywhere else.
Yeah.
But other than that, almost every day we could just do what we wanted.
And how long
I
was
think
this for?
maybe like a week and a half. a
Okay,
week.
so wait, where'd you go to?
We went to Kyoto because
Okay.
that's kind of like the Canberra of Japan,
Mm-hmm.
like old kind of history kind of part.
Mm-hmm.
So we went there, and me and my friends one day we rented kimonos for the day, and we just walked around
What's a
Took-
kimono?
like a traditional Japanese dress. You know,
Okay,
the
yeah.
long ones.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
So we just rented those out for the day, and we walked around. And
You
took-
rent them out. You rent out
like, you
traditional
go to-
Japanese
Yeah.
dresses. You rent them.
You just rent them for the day. I think it was like $20. You go to this place and they dress you.
That sounds like so much fun.
It was a lot of fun.
I was like, so why are we so boring? Why are we so boring in Australia? Why can't I go somewhere and dress up for a day and return it back? See, that's
Yeah.
why I'm gonna go to Japan.
Exactly.
But I want to do things like that.
Yeah,
You know
right?
what I mean? I want to
Yeah.
not just like whatever touristy things you do. Obviously,
No, that was so much fun. And like with my friends, we would just walk, take photos, like random alleyways, like pretty much. I can show you all the photos.
Yeah.
And like my friends kind of knew more about it than I did, so they knew what they wanted to do there. Like
Yeah.
they knew, oh, I want to visit like this particular restaurant.
Yeah.
So we would go there, and it would be amazing. And then like they were like, "I'm going to visit these street stalls or something." So
Yeah.
we'd go there, that kind of thing.
it helps to have friends in countries you've never been.
So yeah, I have all my friends there now, and I talk to them.
How often do you talk to them?
Not that often anymore. I think when I first came back, it was like very often.
Yeah.
But just like they started uni now as well, like it's just a bit busy. But
Yeah.
I wish them all Happy New Year the other day. And then we got talking again
Mm.
because I dyed my hair pink.
Mm.
Send them some photos.
So when do you go back?
I don't know. I really want to go on an overseas trip this year. Maybe to Japan, I'm not sure yet. And I want to do uni exchange again, but
In Japan?
yeah, the thing is, I don't know, like, I do really want to go to Japan,
About.
but I feel like uni exchange, if I'm doing it again, like, should I go somewhere else?
Mm.
But then I want to go to Korea, kind of,
Mhm.
but I don't know any Korean at all,
Mhm.
and I think that might be kind of difficult. So I'm like,
I mean, yeah,
do I want to go to Japan? It's all a bit complicated.
Yeah,
and
should
then
you
with
go to
COVID as well,
that's true.
so
You never know
I
if there
don't
could be a new
know.
strain, or if you get locked up in some foreign country,
pretty much, that would be bad.
doing online uni in a foreign country, not being able
Oh,
to leave the
God.
house.
Yeah, so I don't know how that's going to go.
Yeah.
But I do want to go again. I really wanted to go for my friend's graduation because they all dress up in kimonos, but I couldn't because of COVID. It was last year. Yeah.
Did you see photos?
I saw photos of them.
That sucks though.
I know.
Well,
I know.
hopefully you go back
Yeah.
and get to catch up with all of them again.
Mm-hmm.
So, from your experience,
Yes.
would you tell people who are 16, 15, whatever, would you tell them to go on an exchange?
Yes, I would, 1,000%. It was one of the best things I ever did.
Yeah.
I think in the beginning, especially like on the plane, saying goodbye to my family, knowing I would not see them again for another year, like that was really heartbreaking.
I mean, a whole year in Japan is a long time.
Yeah, I
Like it
didn't
goes-
get homesick as
Yeah.
well. Like I like being by myself, and I was having so much fun every day. I honestly really didn't
You
miss
felt
them at
really
all.
comforted.
It sounds bad, but yeah, I didn't miss them.
Yeah.
For my birthday and Christmas, I think that was the only 2 days that I was like, oh, I kind of wish they were here.
Yeah.
But saying goodbye to them, like my mum doesn't cry that often, and seeing my mum and my sister just bawl their eyes out as I had to turn around a corner and not see them again, like it was tough.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was just crying all through, what do you call it, like security, all
Yeah.
on the plane. And I was like, great, now I'm by myself.
Yeah.
What do I do now? But in the beginning, I was definitely like, what am I doing? But by the end, I was like, I do not want to leave. I just want to stay here forever. The friends I made, the place I went to, definitely. If you have the opportunity, everyone, you should do it.
Imagine if there was some opportunity or some schooling, you know, where you could just go to a different country every year
That would be so
for your whole high
sick.
school.
Oh my
for
gosh.
6
You'd probably
years.
get too distracted though, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, but I feel like you'd learn a lot more than you would to just,
That is true.
you know, just go to a normal high school.
Yeah.
I mean, traveling. I mean, how much do you think you grew
A lot, definitely.
by being in a different country without your family and they speak a different language and you know you
Like
had to
being
walk and
independent
you had
and
to be
stuff.
independent.
Yeah. And especially in places where I like got lost or whatever and I was by myself.
Yeah.
Like figuring out, well, shit, how do I get home now?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really fun. You should do it.
I mean,
Go
I
to
want to
Japan.
do it. I want to travel eventually.
Yeah.
I got to make a bit of money and then I'll travel. Anything else you want to talk about?
I don't know.
I don't know. Should we call it there? What's the time? I don't even...
12.
12. What time do we start?
10:30.
10:30ish.
Is that enough?
Yeah. Are you good with that?
I'm good
Anything
with that.
else? Organisation.
Go to Japan, everyone, and be organized.
What is it? Go to Japan. No. Organize. Okay. Room. I'm just going back over.
That's all right, yeah. Do a little summary.
Little summary. Okay. So room, environment, self, and then just the week. You want to focus on the week, and then at night time, try and plan out your next day. But
Work back to front. Little bits. Plan it out.
Yep. Do you
And go
color
on
code anything?
exchange. I do color code.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that bad?
No.
But I do.
I mean, you color code.
I
Color
do.
code. I think
Color
it's
code's
just
fun.
OCD. It's
It's just fun, right? Maybe not.
Yeah. I don't know.
There you go.
That's it.
Is that it?
Eh,
Do you have an outro?
No, I don't have an intro or an outro.
Do you have to say, like, hello, welcome to the podcast?
Well, I've done a few intros because like one with Lloyd's because I stuffed it up. I was a member of the mic,
Yeah.
so I had to do a quick intro, being like, "Yo, dumbass over here, forgot to turn the mic on." So, you
Do
know,
you have a name for it?
yeah, it's called the High Road Podcast. What do you
Oh,
think?
that's funny.
Is it
I
funny?
like that.
You like the High Road?
I like that kind of.
Oh, kind of.
Yeah. That's
I don't know.
He said, "Welcome to the high road."
That's good. That can be the intro.
And then you have to have some music, like do.
Yeah, I've got to have something. Yeah, I've got to
And
get
then
something.
outro.
I was thinking of being like, I don't know, like, welcome to the high road, you cocksuckers or something. But then people would be like, no. Maybe not. Start
Yeah.
with swearing at people.
That could be your niche.
Good morning, motherfucker.
That'd be funny. But yeah, you gotta work it out. Think have outro.
Yeah, I'll work it out.
Thanks
get a touch
everyone
up
for
'cause-
coming.
Yeah, because I want to get drama curtains.
Ooh,
And
fancy.
I want to have drama curtains as this backdrop behind me, and I want to have a curtain, like a curtain rod that goes down the side here, and then cuts off back in. So this whole area here is covered. Can't see. You can't. It'll be a black curtain there. It'll be a black curtain here, and then I need to paint that and that, and I think I'm just gonna have black curtains so that when you walk in, you're in this small studio room, and obviously I'm gonna move.
You
I'm
can
gonna
put
move
all that stuff on one side.
Yeah,
then you can
yeah, I'm gonna move that stuff and like have this area, like a podcast. Maybe eventually I'll get a light and it'll look good.
Wow.
And
Sounds
then
good.
instead of these little stands, I need to get these just little things that clip on, and you can move them around. But this table, the edge, it's not flat. See how so it slips off when you clip it on. So I need to get one that works.
Fancy one.
And then I can have it so that I can like sit back and have the mic in front of my face, and same.
That'd be
vice versa.
chill.
And then I'm gonna get better seats, and it's gonna be
Sounds
good.
like a
It's gonna
plan.
be good, So
Sounds good.
yeah, thanks, Eloise.
That's all right. Thanks.
I need
Evie.
to see all these photos now.
Okay. Should I move this?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my
We
gosh,
should-
it's heavier than I thought it would be. Cool.
We just need to take a photo afterwards, but
Okay.
let me see
Oh,
all
wait,
these
my sister's
all these photos. What are you doing today?
Nothing. I'm actually not working today, so
Nice.
just chilling.
Good for you.
I know.
Not doing anything. That's great.
I know. Yeah. What do
Were you
want to say?
comfortable? Were you?
Yeah, that was fun.
Good. I found it fun. I enjoyed it. It's
So
really
I
enjoyable
like
having
talking-
conversation, like
Yeah.
just about stuff, you know.
No, but I like talking about Japan as well because
Yeah.
when I came back as well, people would say, "Oh, how was it?"
Mm.
And I'd be like, "Good," and
That's
then like, they'd be like, "All right, yeah. Well, I did this, this, this," and you know, we just kept going with the conversation.
Yeah.
So it wasn't anything. Hang on. 2019. This is when I left. Wait, let me turn it sideways. Look at me. Look at you.
Oh, yeah.
Me and my sister. Then this is when I first got there. This is at the airport. This is my first host house. I don't know if it's sound.
So what are we looking at here?
This is my first
That's the
host
backyard,
house.
is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they grow their own just little
Vegetables in
veggies.
summer, yeah.
Do they all compost there? Like they, you know.
Oh my gosh, no.
Wow, that's
Like
crazy.
you can see that's
yeah,
just how
that's
much like overnight, like
really.
Yeah.
Just like that to that. You can see
Yeah.
where that line is.
Right.
Is that, yeah.
this is my first host mum.
Oh, she looks like a mum.
She was so cute. This is kind of like when it's sunny. You can see it a bit better.
Oh, that's the house.
I was taking a photo from the house.
Right. Yeah.
That's not the house, yeah. And then sorry. This is like the bus. Oh,
Yep.
will it load?
Bus stop.
Maybe it won't. But yeah, the bus stop. I caught the bus for a bit on my first host family. Oh, this is like when it was snowing a lot. Like the snowflakes are really big as well. So
Yeah.
just really
What's it like? What's it like traveling in a car in the snow? Like
it's
that.
not so bad, but you have to get rid of all the snow on the top as well.
Yeah.
Because if you stop or going down a hill, it just all falls down. And that
Right.
happened a couple of times. It was quite funny.
Really?
Yeah.
So you gotta.
And like shoveling snow. It's me.
Oh, so you're wearing a mask? Do they
just
all?
'cause I was cold.
Yeah.
To be honest, mainly it was just because my face was so
Oh
cold.
yeah, and the mask really helps with keeping.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know how much. That's my first host dad. He was really cute. This is like one of our ski trips. I was taking videos, so like my classmates were dancing. That was my vice principal. I don't know
So
how
a
much you
snowman. Show me whatever you want to show me.
This is my host dad acting funny. He was a little drunk.
Do you know what he's saying?
There's a holiday in Japan where you throw beans outside to say like devils go away, and that's what he was saying.
Right.
But he was like acting it out like
Yeah.
funnily.
It seems like they definitely have a lot more fun. You know what I mean? Like their culture
just
seems a
different,
lot like work orientated, but afterwards to get
Yeah.
rid of all the stress, they have fun.
So much fun. Karaoke and that.
Yeah.
These are like the tea lights that I was talking about.
Oh yeah, that's cute.
Like outside school.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that is cute.
Like it would get real cold.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, -13.
Like every day. Like minus. Like if it was like
Oh, wait,
0,
so
that
the
would be like a hot day.
Yeah, yeah. Cause
That's
look
the
at that.
minimum. That's the maximum.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the maximum for the day is -5.
Yeah.
This is made of snow.
Made of snow. Wait, is that someone standing there?
Yeah, they're like
just to
doing
see.
a performance. Hang on.
Oh, so that's huge. How is that made of snow?
They pack it in real tight. She's singing Amazing Grace in Japanese. Yeah.
Wow.
There's like this ice festival. These like more of the light things. This is my tea ceremony club. My tea that I made.
Yeah.
It's my friend drinking it. I don't know.
So there's a whole tea etiquette as well.
I think I have a video of me doing it maybe.
Of doing tea etiquette.
This is my town. Like it had a river in it in the middle. Like the icicles and stuff. But yeah, like that. Like there's snow everywhere, and it just gets like dirty and brown. Like in the beginning it was fun, but then it was just not fun anymore.
Really? Just 'cause it's just constant snow.
Pretty much.
So what's it like in the summer? Like how hot does it get?
Well, I have some photos. This is spring.
Yeah. So
Like
it's
with
the sun's out, but obviously the
It's-
snow's still.
yeah.
Doritos.
They had taco flavor. I like I
Interesting.
know.
Was it good?
It was really good.
There's so much culture and like
Yeah.
like like Japan just has so much culture compared to other countries.
Right.
Like
That's what.
I don't know
why
how to explain
really
it,
like
but
it.
it's just
This is
yeah.
my class.
So is that your home class?
I don't know. If you go, oh wait, what kind? That girl and that girl.
Yeah.
And then, wait, I can't see upside down. Oh, wait, those three girls were my best friends.
Why is everyone doing that?
Because they just do. Then all the guys are like on that side.
Was it very guy and girl, split? Because it definitely seems like it.
Pretty much. Like in Japan, I remember I was talking to one of my friends, and she was like, "Oh yeah, first base, like when I walked home with him or whatever." And I was like, "Sorry, did you say walk home?"
Yeah.
Like walking home with someone is like you are like
You like them.
holding hands is like another thing, and then kissing is like okay, now you're together. You're just together now.
Yeah.
Like walking home, I remember whenever there would be like gossip when someone would walk home with someone else, you'd be like, "Oh my god, they walked home together."
Wow.
I think this is like a funny school festival. Maybe. Oh no, maybe not that one. Hang on.
It's a PE.
Oh wait, I need to find the funny one.
So did you have assembly?
Yeah.
How often did you have assembly?
I think it was once a week, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, this is like cheerleaders. I don't know if you can see. They were like welcoming the new students, like the year 7s.
Are they welcoming the year 7s?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
these
really
little
wanna do
7s
this.
must look so cute.
And then wait, I think it's this one.
When do you think the best time is to go in high school? Like,
Honest change.
should you go in year 7? Should you go in year 11 and
I
repeat?
really enjoyed going in year 12. Like
Being older?
yeah, because I think it just made me appreciate it more. Because I went like when I went overseas with the rotary, they send like 30 people to different countries.
Yeah.
Right? And I went with people who were like 15 years old.
Yeah.
And some of them actually came home because I just couldn't deal with it. And I think like I don't know. I think it would be better if you're slightly older. Like not as like maybe as a gap year even. Like it's just you can appreciate it more. You can do more things as well because people aren't so worried about leaving you alone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you want to see more or is that?
I want to see the dresses when you guys were.
This is some tea I made by the way. It's a little sweet.
Oh.
Sometimes we have sweet. Okay. This is like just starting to be hot weather now.
So what was hot like?
Like wearing like jumpers still. Like
Oh, so it's like up the mountains.
pretty much like mountains weather.
Yeah.
Hang on. Maybe sometimes you would wear like a dress, like or a skirt, like, but you always had a jacket on.
Yeah.
This is kind of where I went to the. Wait, I think it might have been this night. Okay.
Was this when they hired?
Yeah. Oh, please load.
Why don't they load? Because of iCloud or something?
Yeah, I think so. Oh no. Oh, okay, hang on. I have to turn on data for photos. What the hell?
Doesn't want to work. Oh no.
So it's like a drinking game.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you remember?
I'm good at this now, but I messed that around. So they were all drinking sake, but the age in Japan is 20. So I just drank like Coca-Cola.
Yeah. 20.
Yeah.
Thank God it's 18 in Australia.
No.
What do you think it should be then? What do you reckon?
I reckon even 16.
Really? For alcohol?
If you make it lower, people stop doing it. Like people do it at 16 now here because it's like they want to get it. It's like, oh my god. But like once I turned 18, I was like, I don't even want alcohol anymore. Like I can just get it so easily. Why would I?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't drink until I didn't drink until like halfway through. I was 18,
Yeah.
but
At all?
I didn't do anything. Yeah,
Really?
yeah, didn't do anything. Didn't I was like never doing drugs,
Wow.
never drinking. I
don't
like,
mean that in a bad way, but it's hard to believe.
No, I know, right? And I was like, at that time, I was like, there's no point. It was like, why would I drink? Why would I do anything? Like, I just don't need to. Like, I don't want to.
Right.
And then shit hit the
Once
fan
you
of it.
start.
Shit hit the fan of it. I'm like, you know what? Why don't I just try? Like, there's nothing wrong with trying. You know what I mean? Like, what's wrong with that? And here we are.
So like
Volleyball?
before like we would, I don't know why it's so yellow here, but at the end of every practice session we would all stand in a circle, and then we would like one girl would say something and we'd all repeat and bow to the teacher. This is just that. I thought it was cool.
Yeah. It's very organised and formal and like.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like.
This is like when it was like a hot day.
I like how they do like show appreciation as well, like within their tradition. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like you bow when someone, you know, whatever it is, you know, they have customs and like things in their culture and how they're raised and stuff to show appreciation and respect.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's good.
We had a school festival. Oh, do you want to see something funny?
Yeah.
So at the school festival, each class had to make up a dance. This is my class's dance. I'm over here, and we would perform it to the town. Ours was Studio Ghibli. That was our theme. Do you know that?
No.
Like Totoro.
All right. Right. That.
So that's like the guy from House Moving Castle, like his outfit. I don't know.
Yeah.
So this is my class.
So you all have to do this.
We had to make it up as well. But you can see me, I'm over here. Hang on. I think I'll walk forward in a second.
Oh yeah, I see. Yeah.
With my blonde hair.
What are the guys like?
They were really fun.
Yeah. Did you get to know any of them?
Yeah, him really well. He was really good at English, so I used to talk over him.
Oh yeah, was he nice?
Yeah, he was really nice. That's easy. I don't know how much of this you want to watch, but...
How long was he there for?
Like 2 minutes.
Yeah, let me watch all of it.
Okay.
So every class had to do that? So...
For a different theme.
And
like
in the same spot? You know, this was just your turn?
We would all walk up. I don't know if you can see, like, there's people waiting behind us.
Yeah. And how do they host it for the town? Like, how does the town know? Is it just a traditional every year?
At this time, there's a school festival, yeah.
I do like how you have to put on a show for, you know, parents and people.
Right. But this is like the whole thing.
Yeah.
He's like a really cool guy in the film, so we were all like pretending we play, like scream at him.
How long did you work on this for?
Probably like a month.
It sounds
In
so
our
exciting.
homeroom time we would do it.
Was it easy to get everyone to participate?
Yeah, easy.
So hard to imagine.
I know, right?
Because imagine getting all those guys to participate in the show.
No, they loved it.
Yeah.
And then like the best dancer would win something. I'll show you.
Did you win?
No, we didn't.
Were there other really good ones?
They were really... People had like themes of like... That was it.
Yeah.
That
was good.
We had a ramen. Our classroom we made into a ramen store. That was like Studio Ghibli themed. That's my best friend. This is like ramen shop at the top.
Yeah.
And these are all my classmates. Yeah. And we would sell ramen.
And like, how long do you reckon for you it took to like really get into like?
I'd say
really
this time July. Like because I changed classes just before this.
Yeah.
And my first class I liked some people, and some people transferred into my new one as well. But this class I really met like my best friends.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I think this. Oh no. I was trying to teach her English. She was trying to say
Trying to say what?
Liar, pants on fire.
Oh, okay.
I think what does he say though?
So was it? How long did it take you to like just be able to talk in Japanese, like have a conversation with your friends?
Probably around this time as
Yeah.
well. Yeah.
And how like you really noticed the fact that you like were able to start like quite like speaking
I think,
to them.
yeah, even like towards the end, it was like, because you know, even when we're speaking English, people like gossip really fast. They're like, oh my god, have you seen this? Like,
Mm-hmm.
and then they like quickly change another subject. Like, oh yeah, but wait, like that, like following the conversation was quite difficult in my brain, and hearing people like interject and think, oh, even jokes. Sometimes I didn't get them.
Right.
So I would just laugh. But like towards the end, I definitely understood more. But for the school festival as well, we had like a bonfire at our school.
There's just so many like interesting,
That's the
exciting,
school building.
exciting things. Yeah, typical
Right.
Japanese. Building.
Then after this is when I went.
It's like these are all the things that I wish like I could have done in just my school. Like let's just do a dance. Let's just have a bonfire. Let's just turn the classroom into a like yes they have more school.
But they're fun. It's
but they have
really fun.
but they have fun.
I know. And like Harry, there's another host dad. My monk host dad was into stand-up paddleboarding and skateboarding. So he took us like stand-up paddleboarding all
the time. As a monk does. Like, show me what the monk looks like in the house. Do you have the picture of the house?
That's the monk. I gave him like Australian merch. That's kind of the house. It was like concrete.
Is it an apartment or?
No. Oh, that's it. That whole thing.
That whole thing.
This part was the temple part, and that part was our house.
Wow. And because he has a temple, he gets money from the government. Like he owns it. Like he built it, or he owns it, or
I think he like built it like
yeah.
himself. Like.
Wow.
Yeah. And
that's
then
crazy.
The temple inside. I think I have the photo.
And what? And did you go in the temple?
Yeah. Sometimes I'd help out, like if people were over, like other monks and things. This is inside. That's like the temple bit inside. So that's downstairs at my house. And that was
wow. That's crazy,
so
Eloise.
That's him like in his getup.
That's
His
crazy.
daughter, and then his son is also a monk as well.
That's crazy,
and
Eloise.
In Japan, they have a festival where you offer. So this is another kind of creepy. Downstairs was that temple. Upstairs was boxes that had people's ashes in them and bones in boxes. There was thousands of them upstairs. And in Japan, there's a holiday where you go to your person's box and you offer them like food and things to make sure they have like a good afterlife vibe. And people would leave the food there, right? And for the festival, we kept it there, but then afterwards you have to take it away, right? They can't just leave like rotting food in front of people's things. So we took all the food away and then we just ate it.
Wow,
and
what the fuck?
Like,
it's all a lie. It's all
leave,
a lie.
Fruit, and so like we would put them
so
in
you
like
just
juices
you just take their food.
and, like, they would make like
you
biscuits.
Just okay. So
this
let me
is
get
all-
one thing
This is all
straight.
the leftover food, like all these bags.
Wow.
And like these were all the other like monk wives. See, these are all the boxes with people's ashes in them.
So people come to show respect and be like, you know, see if they're comfortable, and they give food to the dead.
Yeah.
And then
we
you
just
eat it.
Well,
and you eat it.
No, we let them like the dead people have it, and then we just like clean up the leftovers.
That makes no sense.
So, like we had like.
It's just a way of hoarding food.
I better be kind of maybe if there were loads of like all the boxes. So the bigger boxes cost more money, and then there were smaller boxes over there.
And people
That's kind
pay
of
money to
box.
keep their relatives' ashes instead of having a graveyard or something. Instead of putting.
They don't really have gravestones. It's more like this is another downstairs in my house. Like it's like massive.
Wow.
So it was really cool that house. Okay, hang on.
That's crazy, Eloise.
This bit is about to be where I go away again. This is on the school trip. Like all my classmates catching the same plane. This is kind of where.
Oh, there you go. That's where you get dressed up.
Yeah. It's like me and my friends. They don't really smile in pictures, but you get it. Me and my friends.
Wow. It looks like a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun.
So you got to pick out your own Komodo. Kimono.
Not Komodo.
Not Komodo dragon.
Not Komodo.
Okay, yeah. Kimono.
Kimono. Then we went to USJ, Universal Studios in Japan.
Oh, that would have been so fun. Did you go on all the rides?
Not all of them, but we got a fast pass so we could like skip ahead.
Yeah.
And like Harry Potter. That was really fun. USJ. That's like my friend group. My best friends and my best guy friends. This is kind of nearing the end. So it's autumn again. I don't know if you want me to stop at anything. Then I went to Okinawa here. So this is in Okinawa, where it's like hotter.
Yeah.
So that's the bottom bit of Japan, and then Japan's all up here.
Yeah.
My host family time.
Wow.
Like an aquarium. I don't know. This is another kind of thing. My host
Oh.
family. I ate so much food. I gained like 10 kilos.
Really?
Yeah.
It's probably good.
You look at
I
my
feel
face.
like the people in Japan need to gain some kilos.
Yeah. This is like
They're all
snow.
skinny and
my
white.
hair was like frozen because I had my hair out one time.
That's funny. You got a bruise there from something.
Oh yeah, it was like falling over when I was skiing.
Oh right.
Like hit me. Wait, I think I might have. Oh no, I didn't. Never mind. This is tea ceremony club. At the end, my friend is filming me. Okay, never mind. We're pretending to do that. I still have this there. It's in my bed. This is the end. Oh, this is when the person invited me to her house.
Oh yeah. So you don't see very many typical Japanese.
No, not really. Most people have modernized their home by now. But she had like a charcoal in the ground, and she like made our tea like this.
And how many were there?
Three of us. Me and my two best friends.
Yeah.
We went. These two, and she made us like this. And it looks kind of bad, but
Yeah.
it's pumpkin and red beans and mochi.
Is it really
it
good?
was so good. It's like so sweet and delicious. It's like an autumn food. And that's her.
Aww.
She's so cute.
She's so nice. She's pretty cute.
And this is when I was leaving, so I was crying a
Yeah.
bunch.
Yeah. That is sad.
They decked out our classroom like this.
That's not the Australian.
No, well, like, no, look. They made the blue bit at the end. Wait, how do I go back? See, like, this is the bit,
Oh,
and then
right,
that's the chorus.
right.
They made, like...
Their little farewell party for you.
Yeah.
And everyone's crying and upset.
Yeah,
Aww.
they're my classmates. And then... my parents came here.
Yep.
So this is me, like, seeing them again.
So they
After
came
a
just
year.
to get your bags?
Well, like, they wanted to come to Japan as well.
So you spent like a few weeks with them before you left?
Yeah, so they came, like,
Yeah.
and saw us again.
And your host family was there?
They drove
And
me
you
in.
could
Translate.
translate, yeah.
And then right before I was leaving, one of my host families, their friend was a different type of monk, so he invited us to that thing, and we tried on these clothes.
Wow. So many
Everyone is
awesome
so
experiences.
Nice, because everyone in Japan is so nice.
So many awesome
This is
experiences.
on New Year's Day,
Oh, yep.
and then this is like our food that we had for dinner
Mhm.
that night.
Is this with your family as well?
Yeah, host family.
Like as in with your fam?
I think my fam weren't there for that. They were there somewhere else. I think they might have left by now with half of my stuff.
Oh, yeah, so you stayed another 10 days. Or
Yeah,
the
something
11th
like
until
that.
that was.
And then this is like the end.
Yep.
One of my families gave me that to wear.
Oh, like they gave that to you?
Well, not give.
But
They,
just to wear.
another one gave me one, but this
Oh,
one,
wow.
this one is like a special one. It's like really expensive, so they
Mhm.
just let me wear it.
Oh,
This is me
you look really.
crying.
Oh, let's go!
Yeah.
Let's go! Oh shit! Zoom in on that handsome man. That was like almost, like a day after or whatever.
Yeah, I
When
came
was
back
that?
on the
You came back on the 11th.
and that was 14.
Yeah, wow.
There you go.
Honestly, you're such a good friend. See,
Yeah. And I made all these Japanese food
you look
because I missed it so much. Yeah, look at my face. Anyway. Yeah.
Wow, that was awesome.
There you go.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome. Do you like my background?
I haven't seen it.
Wait.
Look at all those notifications. That's trippy. Why?
Is it cool?
Yeah, it's trippy.
Is it gonna be hot outside?
I don't know. Oh my god.
Well,
Thank you so
for
much.
having me
No,
on the
thank you so much for
podcast.
coming. I really enjoyed it.
Are you still doing it?
Huh?
Are you still recording?
It is still recording.
My gosh. You have a long editing ahead of you.
Well, I'll edit it, you know.
Edit it down.
Yeah, like when we say we stop, you know, I'll cut from there.
Right.
So.
Could I add a little intro and outro that would spice it up?
You reckon?
What's that?
I mean, I do.
Is that a mouse mat?
Yeah. Just a mouse pad. Oh, I have to get a photo.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
So how
What
I'll
are
do
you
it.
gonna do?
I'm
Oh,
just
it's
gonna.
like the same thing as on your back.
Yeah, so that's how Mum got it. She's like,
Ah.
so we're just gonna take a photo. I'm just gonna lean up against the ledge, and we'll just stand there.
Are you gonna put them somewhere? Oh, is this gonna be the thumbnail?
Yeah.
Ah.
And then we'll just have episode 7. Eloise. What's your last name?
You don't know my last.
No,
Come
don't
on.
tell me. Don't tell me. Wait, I have mine.
Do you want me to
Oh.
tell you what begins with?
F.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fields.
Yeah. Field.
Oh, field. Sorry.
It's fine.
Get my komodos and kimonos mixed up, so my
Okay.
field and fields totally.
Alright, okay. Whatever.
No, but I really appreciate you coming. It was a lot of fun.
That's alright. Thank you for having me.
I'm glad it was really good.
Mm-hmm.
I really like talking to people about their travels. So.
I like talking about it.
So, if you're going to go to a different country, what country would you go to next time?
I think I really do want to go to Korea.
Why Korea?
I just really like Korean food and Korean dramas.
Korean food and dramas. That's it. You
Like
want to go to
TV dramas?
you want to go to Korea for the dramas.
Yeah, the show.
So you can just like let's just book a.
Like I know like
Just-
funny like lines in Korean like we're good hair. Like the drama, like dramatic lines.
Okay. Yep.
But I think I want to go to Europe as well, maybe.
Yeah, you got to go to Europe eventually.
Mm. Is that your Wi-Fi?
Yeah, just so I can get internet from the house. 'Cause it's in the house. It
So
only
a scab.
just works. I'm a what?
Nothing.
A scab? Yeah, come on. I'm 20. I'm poor.
Oh my gosh.
I'm trying to.
Is this what you play games on?
On the computer, yep.
Nice.
Okay, I'm just gonna put a 3-second timer on.
Okay. Then what are we gonna do? Should we do this? Peace sign?
Yeah. I'll come back. How am I supposed to do it?
I don't know. Like this? Did you do it already?
No, I was just
Oh.
planning out.
I have to
I was
sing.
gonna do it.
Okay.
It's on 3 seconds. You ready?
Yeah. I think that
Let's have a
was
look.
good. I think it takes like quite a few. It's kind of cute.
One more?
Okay. Do you not like it?
I don't know. What do you want?
Should we do something different? Or the same thing?
No, we need to do the same thing.
Okay.
Ready?
Yep.
Okay, let's have a look.
That's cute too.
Now I'm part of the culture. Alright, well thanks for coming. Thanks for helping me out with my organisation.
That's alright. Thank you for having
Hopefully
me.
I'll actually put it into use and
Yeah, do it.